Recently I have organized a mapping competition where the goal was to build the most high-scoring stunt track. To eliminate any sort of driving skill factor, the builders were supposed to build a press-forward track, meaning that the entire map is beatable just by holding down the acceleration. The contest is sponsored by Viju, who offered €500 for the prize pool. Huge thanks to him for that. We will be looking for 3 most high-scoring maps and a single most high-scoring stunt. So without further ado, let's check the maps. So first of all, we will check 3 maps that were built before a major change to the rules of the contest. At first there was no time limit for the map, no restrictions in usage of custom blocks, and no restrictions about the map's size. That sadly completely broke the contest idea, and the map we are watching right now is the greatest example. Notice how the timer on the top of the screen is barely decreasing. That would mean that everyone could build an awfully long track with just bumper blocks everywhere. Even with almost no optimization and with a lot of timers still left, this map scored over 60,000 points. I'm going to put it in the leaderboards just to have something there already, but it is not a valid submission. Next map was built by Leones, and this one also uses the bumper block spam idea, but they are placed so close together that the airtime on the jumps is too low to even count as a stunt. This map only ends with around 1000 points, so it wouldn't have big chances in the competition anyway. But so far, it is the second most high scoring unofficial map. Good job! The third map that was built before the rules change is by Jangvo, and it does not use the custom bumper blocks anywhere, but it uses a bigger map base, which was also forbidden by the rules later on. This one has some more creative stunts, and actually some more effort has been put into building here. The author mentioned that he is going to build another map with the updated rules, but I never received a new submission, so it's a bit of a shame. Just for the record, there is a prize for a random participant, and I think it is fair that these submissions that were sent before the rules change will also be eligible for that specific prize. Anyway, this track ends with roughly 37,000 points in total, so as of now it is ranked on the second place, and it also beats the previous best single stunt. That's nice. As I said, these first 3 tracks have been submitted before more rules have been added to the contest. Mainly, after the change, it was no longer allowed to use custom blocks, it was now forbidden to extend the mapping area size, and the length of the map couldn't exceed 1 minute and 30 seconds. These changes were made after I have received a lot of feedback from the community about how much not having them would make the entire contest pointless, as the submissions would all be just about bouncing on the bumper blocks for hours. I think it was a good change that made the tracks more unique, and now it is time to see the submissions that will be competing for the prize pool. We start with a map built by Akoka, which already looks more interesting than all these bumper block hell tracks that we could potentially get. Akoka said that she is not very satisfied with the map because it is not finished due to lack of time to continue building. So far we can see that these stunts are pretty decent. There is a solid amount of master and epic stunts which give big multipliers to the stunt scores, so the number of points is increasing at a good pace. The score could potentially be a bit higher with a better finish placement, because currently the last stunt does not give any points, because it crosses the finish line before the landing. As the previous 3 maps are not valid submissions, I will now be overriding them with valid maps, and Akoka takes the first spot for now. The next map that we will check out was built by Arkes, and it is called 3 Stunt Islands. Right from the start we can see a heavy usage of reactor boost and plastic bounces. Using plastic is some sort of a secret cheat code, as with some car positions you can bounce without the game registering it as a stunt landing. That way you can extend your tricks to last longer and get more rotation. We can also see that a lot of the tricks get epic multipliers on landings. For those unfamiliar with stunt mode, to get an epic landing you have to meet several requirements. First of all, you can't change your steering inputs for the last 3 seconds before the landing. As we are watching a press forward tracks, the inputs are the same all the time, so your stunt just has to be longer than 3 seconds to potentially be epic. Next requirement is that you need to land flat, so all your wheels must make contact with ground on landing in roughly the same moment. And the last requirement is that your rotation must be close to the multiple of 180 degrees. Alright, enough of the stunt mode tutorial. Really great map by Arkes, and it takes the first place spot from Akoka and also barely beats the score for the best single stunt. Great job! The next map was built by Kakte, and you will see it is going to be a really simple one. This one probably aimed to get the best single score stunt price, as it is literally just a single stunt map. We get a huge jump with a long airtime, and then on the landing some plastic bounces to extend the duration of the trick. It could have worked better with another epic stunt before, that would give the 2.5x multiplier to the big jump. With just a single trick you are missing on a lot of potential points. Still, this is a very high scoring jump and the total score is basically the double of it. That was enough to only take the third position for now, but the single best stunt title has changed. Next map is built by Crowden, and there is an important thing that I want you to notice. The final score of a map is the sum of your best single stunt and the score you get in the time window after crossing the checkpoint. As the first stunt here is done before crossing the checkpoint, it did not contribute to the points gained during the stunt timer. Luckily, these points did not go to waste, as they can still contribute towards the best stunt bonus. This is completely independent of any timers that you activate on the track. In general, this is a rather short track with just some small and not so high scoring stunts. And sadly, it did not change anything on our standings, so the podium and the best single stunt remain unimpacted. Now this following map I was really disappointed with, as I expected a really good submission, but according to Marius, he tried some ideas, but couldn't make it work and eventually gave up and submitted this map to have a chance to win a random participant prize. When I first played it, I thought that maybe I missed something and played it a second time, but no, that's just it. Well, I think I don't need to say that this map also does not impact the standings, but good luck with random participant award. The next map was built by Matti Jansson, and this one has a similar issue as one of the maps before. Here it's even worse, as there is not a single checkpoint throughout the entire track. There are some cool stunts here and there, but the final score will be just from a single most high scoring trick from the entire track. All of the rest does not contribute anything. Alright, right here we have that best stunt. This is going to be a pretty nice backflip with an epic landing, and that's basically the entire final score. So I don't know what to say. Potentially it could probably reach top 3 as of now, but then again there is quite a lot of driving with full ground contact here as well, so it would probably drain the entire timer quickly. Another map that did not change anything for us in the standings, so let's keep on searching. The next map is from Max Chess, and whenever I see that name in my mapping contests, I know I can expect a really solid work. This map starts with some incredibly fast spinning, and already the first big jump was worth 7,500 points in just a couple of seconds. And this keeps on going, every jump gets the epic multiplier and that extremely fast spinning. Look how quickly the points are increasing. The trick here is to have wet wheel status on the car and then launching it with some plastic blocks. Don't ask me why it works like that, but that's just a thing in Trackmania. You can also use slow motion blocks to increase the airtime of the car on the biggest tricks. That's also a very smart thing that some of the builders used. Another important thing in the stunt mode is to not repeat the same stunt types, because it starts adding a points penalty to your tricks. But on this map, every single stunt is unique. You can check the stunt names: Spinning Chaos, Aerial, Rolling Madness. Every single one is different. It must have been a ton of work to not repeat any of them, also get incredibly fast spin, and also smooth landing to get that epic multiplier. We are already at 150,000 points, so it's miles ahead of every single map we have seen before, and it's not even the end yet. Actually, the trick we are seeing right now is going to be the most high scoring one. A quadruple slow motion gate to increase the timer even further, and on the landing it adds a solid 38,000 points for that single stunt. That's crazy. This track simply crushes the competition so far. It beats the second best map so far by like 190,000 points, and the single best stunt also got improved by like 30,000 points. This will be really hard to beat, but we still have plenty of submissions, so let's see what others have cooked. Next map is built by Nod, and this is also a mapper that I expected to do really well in this competition. His map starts with some smaller tricks, but he manages to get smooth landings on them without spending too much time on the ground anywhere. In contrast to the previous map, this one seems to be mostly based on getting a bigger amount of stunts in total, rather than just getting one huge stunt of each type. It seems to be working pretty fine, as the points are increasing really quickly, especially on these epic landings. We also see a lot of unique stunt types, like the aerial right now, which I think is one of the harder tricks to get with press forward map. The total score has already exceeded 50,000 points, so we surely have a new second place map, but the question is if it's going to challenge the current number 1. Right now we are getting an epic after epic and the points are skyrocketing, already at 75,000. But what I'm missing is a one long and high scoring trick to pump that best stunt bonus up a little bit more. But as of now we continue on adding these 5,000 point stunts and getting closer to the 100,000 barrier. The map will have to end soon and we go for a reactor boost flight. Maybe this trick will have some potential to grant a nice boost to the score. We are having quite a lot of airtime that is additionally getting extended with some bonus plastic bounce and a slow motion gate. The landing is getting closer and closer. What is it gonna be? And it must have been a repeated stunt type as the point gain was not even that big. With just over 100,000 points, this map now jumps to the second place. Really solid work here, it surely won't be easy to beat that. The next track that we will check is called I Read the Updated Rules Too Late. So my guess is that Psyniac was cooking another map, then noticed that the rules have changed and had to start a new map quickly. This one started with an epic backflip to get a multiplier, and then we have a long line of red booster that ends with a long stunt. It seems to be based around just doing a single big stunt, so let's see if it will have a chance to win the category. We are approaching the landing and we get 16,000 points for that one stunt, which is a great score but not good enough to put the current record holder in danger. We are now moving to the map built by Pumpkin Cell and the track name already give us some spoilers about what to expect. First of all, we can read that the author knows that he will not beat Max Chess map, and secondly, the map is supposed to end with score of over 100,000 points. Looking at what's happening so far, I can pretty much believe that already. We are already past 40k points and the map has just started, so it is pretty much guaranteed that it will end up in the top 3. We only have to wait to find out at which place specifically. It seems like every single stunt here is epic, each one of them has these crazy fast rotations, and I also think none of these stunt types are repeating, at least for now. This might be a good contender for the first place if it stays on the same level until the finish line. One thing I dislike about this map is the night mode, which makes it harder to see the car. It gives a nice contrast to the pink blocks that had been used, but I guess that's just a personal preference for me, that I'd prefer a day mode. And anyway, we are here to watch the stunt points going up and not to discuss the aesthetics. And yeah, the points just stopped going up, not sure what's the point of this part right now, but we are pretty much stuck on this block, just waiting to fall down to the finish, wasting the precious time that could be used to get even more points. We are at 114,000 points, so it's enough to get to the podium for now, but it's a bit of a shame that this was not pushed further, because the stunts were really on the highest level. Regardless, a very good submission and a solid second place. Another map to watch, hooray! We start with a nice backflip. This is a nice way to get the epic multiplier for the upcoming bigger stunts, and we indeed see the bigger stunts are ahead of us. We are going for a pretty big spin and it seems like it's not going to be a long track as there is just one more stunt to land. This one will probably give us the most points, but seeing what the other maps looked like, I don't think this track has big chances to jump to the podium. We land an epic corkscrew and the impact was so big that the car bounced into another smaller stunt. But as I said, with just 4 stunts in total, this map is far away from the 100,000 points needed to enter the current top 3 tracks. The next track was built by Ricochet and we have some nice custom cameras right from the start. Well, actually maybe not so nice as the camera is clipping through the ground. That could have been avoided, why would you leave it like that? The camera is really far away now, I don't even know what's the point of these cameras to be fair. Okay, we are doing a stylish grind right now, which sadly does not give you any extra stunt points in this game, and we can see a finish line nearby, so the track probably ends soon. And it does, but it's really not the most high scoring one, so nothing changes for us in the rankings. Let's go to the next one. And the next one is going to be Skuro stunt built by Skuro, and we can expect a pretty big jump to start with after all of these red boosters. And we indeed fly very high up towards the sky. I'm not sure if I already mentioned that before, but airtime is one of the factors that increase the stunt score, so even with slow rotations you can still get a lot of points if your flight was really long. And the timer stops whenever the car is in the air, so in stunt mode in this game you want to stay in air as much as you possibly can. The stunt we are watching right now is a bit weird and it might not be able to land that as an epic one without any extra help, and yeah, I was right. It didn't even land into the quarter pipe. But we keep on going. Sadly, not all of the tricks have the epic multiplier, and currently we are going only with the perfect one. And yeah, perfect is the worst multiplier you can get. Really bad choice of the word from the devs, I know. It seems like we are getting close to the end, as I don't see any blocks that were not previously used, and yeah, what can I say? This map feels very rushed and unfinished. We accumulated a decent amount of points, but not really close to the top of the contenders. Another track, another chance for the win. Let's see what we've got. After the start drop down and a bounce at the landing, we grab the reactor boost and go for the flight around the stadium. Sadly, this stunt will not have any multiplier because the previously landed stunt didn't have any. It is a bit confusing perhaps, but if you land a trick with multiplier, it multiplies the points for the next trick rather than points for the one you just landed. I guess maybe I should have explained that earlier than after 16 minutes of the video, but oh well. It seems like the author here did not care about these multipliers too much anyway, as we have a bunch of stunts without them. We only have roughly 19,000 points, so that's way too low to get a placement on the scoreboard. So the top 3 positions remain the same and we only have a few maps left to check. Let's keep on going. The next map is built by Yannex and it's called Epic Epicked, so I'm expecting a lot of epic stunts here. I can already see some of them, as well as I can see some very weird air movements. A lot of plastic blocks are being used and a bunch of reactor boost gates, which in combination with some reset gates can change the car's trajectories in some very unusual ways. But this is also a great way to force the car into a flat landing, which is needed to get these epic multipliers. And just look at these points go. We are already around the 60,000 mark, so this might finally be a new contender for the top 3 positions. It's difficult to track if there are any stunt types that were not made yet because of how many tricks are being landed, but doing stunts that were not done before is what would push this score up even harder. I really love how unique this map feels. It just feels super unpredictable to watch with all these sudden movement changes and even game speed changes with slow motion gates here and there. It makes the map just really flowy and pleasant to play through. The score already passed 100,000 points barrier, so it should already jump to the 3rd place overall, and for the 2nd place it must go above 114,000, which it also passes. Now the question is if it can also beat the 1st place currently held by Max Chess. There is still a long way to go, but maybe we will get surprised. These stunts just keep on going, but we also have to think about the time limit, and there is the finish line. Really great score. With this map, Nod has to leave the podium, Pumpkin Cell drops to the 3rd place and Yannex is able to sit on the 2nd place. Max Chess is still undefeated and we only have one last map left. The last map is built by ZiggyZig and it starts with an awkward crash into the wall, which does not really give that much points. Maybe that's just a not so good start and the points will start dropping later, but while we watch I can just give you a short summary about the contest. In total there have been 19 tracks, 3 of them being invalid, so 16 participants for the main prize pool. It turned out that the stunt mode is really difficult to work with and I think most people were not interested in even attempting to build something because it is just really difficult to pay attention to all of the complex rules of the stunt mode. Some people could have become demotivated by the fact that they didn't know what they were competing against. There have been some leaks of crazy high scores being achieved and in the end they were not achievable without breaking the rules. I am still very happy with the submissions I have received because I think the tracks that got into top 3 clearly deserve the prizes. And while talking about the prizes, I would like to once again thank Visual for sponsoring them. And I'm sure the winners will also really appreciate them. Now getting back to the track we are watching, it's one of the longer ones, but it does not seem like we will witness any last second changes in the rankings. We are at 24,000 points and the time for the park score is up, so they will not increase any further, even with more stunts being done. So with this last flight we finish the competition, but don't leave yet, because now I will be announcing the winners in every category. First of all, the total stand score category. In the third place we have map built by Pumpkin Cell with 114,360 points in total. Congratulations on winning 75 euros. In second place we have a track built by Yannex with a total stand score of 131,525 points. For this placement you are winning 125 euros. Congratulations! And in the first place we have the grand winner, a track built by Max Chess with a total score of whopping 232,275 points, beating the competition by a huge margin and winning 200 euros for this achievement. Congrats! The prize for the single most high scoring stand also goes to Max Chess for an epic flipping mix 3240, which got him 38,200 points in a single landing. This is the stand you are seeing right now. The car stayed in the air for 21 seconds and got a ton of rotation plus a 2.5x epic multiplier. For this particular stunt, Max Chess wins an additional 50 euros for a total of 250 euros. Then there is another prize, this time for the coolest looking track from outside of top 3, and I've decided to give this prize to the map built by Nod. I'd say his map and the maps that already win prizes for podium positions were of significantly higher quality than the rest of the contenders. He managed to break the barrier of 100,000 points with some really cool looking tricks, and I think his creation deserves the prize. And now the last prize is for a random participant. I removed the players that already won something before, so we have 15 possibilities left, and the results might get close, but the wheel stops at Jangvo and he wins the prize. Congrats! That sums up to the total of 500 euros for the entire prize pool. Huge congratulations to all of the winners, spend your money wisely, and this is going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would appreciate a comment, like, channel membership or any kind of support in general. It's just really cool to get some feedback. Thanks for watching and special thanks to my channel members. Have a nice day, goodbye.